Welcome to the workshop on sleeping. Sleeping is real important because we spend a good number of hours a day doing it. And this is probably the biggest problem that people have when being under structural care is the sleeping part. Because the bottom line is, if you go to bed feeling okay and you wake up not feeling okay, then it was something that happened between going to bed and waking up. Okay. Right? And so we're going to talk about beds, the proper type of bed. We'll talk about sleeping positions, and then we'll set someone up on the proper position, show you how to do it. All right, first thing, in the latest newsletter that was written for April, the first article is titled, "It's Not About Comfort." So whether we're talking about shoes, beds, chairs, a very common thing I hear from people is, "Oh, I love my chair, I love my bed because it's so comfortable." Here's the problem with that, is when your body is working right, now I'm talking about people that are getting their body corrected with structural correction. When your body's working right, you shouldn't notice anything. So then when you don't notice anything, there's no need to then want to feel comfortable. Right. You feel nothing. It may sound like semantics, but that is a big difference, not noticing anything. So when people are doing things for comfort, it's because it makes them feel better to do that, whereas they shouldn't feel anything. So when your body's all screwed up mechanically, things that are comfortable are nice. It makes you feel good. But when your body is not screwed up mechanically, or it's getting corrected, it's not about comfort. Okay, and that's actually the title again. It's not about comfort. So it's a paradigm shift in the way you look at things and how most people live compared to what's proper. So here's the deal: when your body's working, when your body's getting treated properly, the things that are good for it, you won't notice your body. The things that aren't good for your body, it's going to bug you more. Okay, so I've had people who, they said, "I don't get it. I've had this bed forever and I never had a problem, and all of a sudden now I'm having a problem since I've been getting treated here." And that's why. It's kind of like if you have a really bad diet and you go out and have a fast food, and a lot of it, you may not feel a whole lot worse than before. But if you have a good diet and you binge with fast food, you'll be sick for a day or two. Right? So the better your body is mechanically, the more sensitive it's going to be to things that aren't good for it. Beds are definitely one of them. Let's talk about the type of bed, the proper type of bed first. Let's talk about what you shouldn't have, actually. Okay? A bed can always be too soft, but it can never be too firm. I can take somebody and take 2 cinder blocks and a sheet of plywood and set their body up properly on that, and they'll sleep wonderfully. Okay, so a bed can never be too firm, but it can be too soft. Now, things like memory foam, that's a big buzzword now. It's all over TV, all the stores. Oh, memory foam, you know, Tempur-Pedic, Posturepedic, memory foam beds. You know, you see somebody jumping on the bed with like wine glasses and moving. What do you do? Beds are not, you know, we don't sleep with people jumping on bed. The idea is not that. Right. You know, you push your hand in it and then you take your hand away and you still can see the indentation of the hand, and it slowly gets back to where it should be. Any type of memory foam bed or pillow top being that thickness of cushion on top of the regular bed. Sometimes they're sewn into the bed. Yeah. Sometimes people buy toppers and put them on top of the bed. None of those things are good for a body that is proper mechanically. None. You will never get to the point where you don't notice your body sleeping on a bed that's too soft. Water beds, you know, they're not as common nowadays.
My husband had one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I don't care about the tubes and how firm you can make it. No. You know, I would joke with people that the only good water bed is a frozen one.
Yes, I hated it. I know, it was
real
terrible.
Firm. So, with beds, it's not about buying things to be comfortable. If your body is messed up mechanically and your bed conforms around that, that's not a good thing. It may be comfortable, but you're actually conforming around a screwed up body. So the idea is the body should conform to the bed, the bed shouldn't conform to the messed up body. Right? So, again, memory foam, pillow tops, water beds, anything that's too soft, you are going to have issues. I promise you. Especially getting your bodies treated, you are going to have issues. Anybody here had those beds or anything like it?
Yes, waterbed.
You had or you still have?
I have it, but I don't sleep on it.
Okay, well there you go.
Good answer.
That's a great way to
Yeah,
handle
yeah.
things. But when you slept on it, did you find you had more issues once you started getting treated here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh, that's
definitely.
See, people think I make this stuff up.
No.
Make these things up. But that's the way bodies are. None of this is my opinion. It's not that I don't like a memory foam or I do like. It's not a question of my desires. It's a question of what screws up a body and what helps the body stay well. Okay, and that's really the job is when you're not here, don't screw yourself up. Because most of the time, unless you're unwinding forward, and most of you know what that means,
Right.
unless you're unwinding forward, anything that you're hurting from is from what you're doing sitting, standing, or sleeping. There's no other answer it can be, unless I'm not doing my job right. All right? So that's how important this is. Now, so stay away from those beds. The Sleep Number bed with the air.
Yeah, what's that
Those
about?
are pretty decent. You can pump them up really, really firm. That isn't a bad idea.
Okay.
But the best sleeping surface would be a latex type of latex foam. Typically organic, hopefully, so it's not have chemicals in it.
Yeah.
But a latex, you don't need a big, thick amount of it. Like, you see some beds, the beds are like this, especially in hotels. Go to hotels and you can get lost in the bed. You sit on it and the whole thing swallows you up. But latex, organic latex is probably the best sleeping surface that you can have. And if anybody specifically has any questions about beds, let me know and I can point them in the right direction where to get something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the type of sleeping surface. If it's bad enough, I've had patients sleep on the floor. Can't get much firmer than that. If your bed is that bad until you get that situated. Couches are horrible. Again, not enough support. Falling asleep in recliners, terrible thing. Because most people, when they fall asleep in a recliner, their body is bent, right? Like this.
Yeah.
And their head usually winds up going down like this. And you have that bowling ball that's hanging down, that 8 pounds that's
Oh
just
my God.
hanging down.
The neck hurts.
The neck, anything, any part of the body. So there's no substitute for lying down and for having a very firm.
What about a firm inner spring mattress with springs, but it's very firm.
It's not. It's better than other
pillow
stuff.
top, right?
And better than memory foam, but
Not
it's not
as
the
good.
ideal.
Okay.
But you can get something very, very, very firm. Yes, ultra firm.
Okay.
Bed stores, they want to sell you all the latest bells and whistles and gadgets. Don't buy into that.
No.
Right? And then they want to hook you up to a computer and conform the bed to your body. Don't buy into that. They know selling beds, that's all they know. Okay, they don't understand body mechanics. Even people in my profession don't understand body mechanics.
Yeah.
So, be very, very careful who you get your information from.
Well, I just went away
Oh
on
yeah,
vacation.
great example. Yeah.
And this was a great example because I went and I end up on a bed that is the hardest thing.
Like a hotel bed?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was a rental, it was a condo.
Right.
And it was the hardest bed. Let me tell you, I slept the best.
Interesting.
The best.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
problems
Okay.
sleeping or getting
But
up
you probably,
and
when
moving.
you sat out, you probably thought, oh, I can't sleep on this.
Even
Right.
laying down, I was like, oh, I'm not sure. But because
as you
I
came
knew
back, yeah.
because I knew how to adjust my pillow height,
Yeah.
I adjusted it properly, and then I just went to sleep.
Oh my God.
When I got home, I had problems
Oh.
because
She had
my
the problems before. She
Right.
went away. Everything was
Everything was
fine.
great.
Nothing. She comes home immediately after coming home, sleeping one night.
Oh, that's
Back to the
weird.
issues.
the body
So-
hurt.
So it's that
It is.
specific.
It was fast
It
too.
really
Yeah,
is.
it
went
was
like
very
that.
instant feedback.
I
Yeah.
have a
Wow.
similar experience. I have the waterbed at home, and I have a job where I sleep at the job, and it's a very, very firm bed.
Mhm.
Well, the first night I wasn't crazy about it,
Yeah.
but since I sleep there a lot, I sleep sounder. My husband says I don't move, and he doesn't snore.
Wow.
Wow.
Really?
Big plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
he
have a
doesn't
seat.
snore at all. And he was a champion snorer. I have a recording of
He
it.
won awards. He actually won awards.
That's cute.
So this is what we want to look at when we're looking into beds. Now, Sleep positions. Stomach sleeping is out, unless you have something like this that has a cutout where you can have your face straight down.
I've never seen
Worst thing to do is sleep on your stomach, because I tell people it's like walking around 7 hours a day like this. So that's what you're doing. You're
my
literally
God.
torquing your neck and your spine and the body being one unit. Not a good thing to stomach sleep,
Okay.
and sometimes a hard habit to get out of. Back sleeping or side sleeping. Those are the two other positions. Back sleeping is the easiest, but on my experience, side sleeping seems to be more common.
Start out on my side.
Me
Okay,
too, yeah.
so typically what you start out on, even if you go back and forth, is what you prefer. Now, the reason why, for the most part, people toss and turn, outside of their bed not being proper, is they don't have the head the right height for the body, and I'm going to show you that momentarily. But the reason why people toss and turn, when they're sleeping in the wrong position or on the wrong bed, they do okay for a little while, and then in 10, 12, 15 minutes, however long it takes, you build up mechanical stress at a particular point in your body, wherever that may be. It could be your knee, your hip, your back, anywhere. You feel that stress, and then your body has a tendency to want to automatically, well, move away from that position to get out of that stress, okay? So your body shifts, and then you turn, and now that stress is gone,
Interesting.
okay? Well, what happens is, another 5, 10, 15, however long it is, you start to develop stress somewhere else mechanically, because your body's still not in the right position. You just shifted, you just changed it. Then when that builds up enough, then we want to shift again. So the main reason why people find themselves constantly tossing and turning is because they're building up mechanical stress somewhere in their body that becomes a nuisance, and their body will shift to get out of that position.
But will there be mechanical stress when you're in REM? Because most people don't get to REM for some reason.
Yeah, there's going to, I mean,
That's the
there's
problem.
going to be mechanical stress when
Yeah.
there's mechanical stress,
Okay.
regardless of what else
Okay,
you're
I just
doing.
wondered if, what stage of sleep that could happen in.
Any stage.
Yeah.
Now, you can, and you even mentioned, I think you just mentioned it, people don't believe me when I tell them, if you have the proper bed and you have your head the right half of your body and everything's set up properly, you will wake up in the position you fall asleep in. And people usually look at me like I have 3 eyes. Because
You're relaxed.
because that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
how can that be? Because because you've never done that your whole life for the most
my
part.
God.
So how is that all of a sudden going to be? Has anybody had that experience that it actually happens?
It happened once, like maybe.
It's all the time.
Yeah.
Okay,
I wake up in the position I go to sleep in.
okay.
You do?
Assuming you didn't go
Yeah.
move all around in between.
How would we know unless we videotaped
The
ourselves?
only thing is that I get up a lot to use the bathroom.
Yeah, that's good too.
Well, that's a
I
different
wake
issue.
up.
That's different
Okay.
issues, yeah.
So,
I have the same.
so it's important to understand the relationship between the head and where the head should be. The first thing I want to show you is back sleeping, okay, because that's the easiest. My wife and I do this. I don't do it because I enjoy it, I do it because that works. All right, so with back sleeping, what you want to do is, pillows are a 4-letter word when it comes to sleeping. You don't want pillows because, like beds, pillows don't give you enough support. I don't care how hard they are, I don't care what they're made of, I don't care if they have that, dipping at that cervical curve type of pillow. You see these commercials with the cervical curve pillows where they show, look at how properly the spine is aligned. They show like an animation of the spine aligned perfectly. Well, nobody has a straight spine for the most part, so you can't force it to be in a straight position, right? So pillows are not really the ideal situation, or at least not the ones that most people use. Towels are really good to use, particularly for back sleeping, but also for side sleeping. And the reason why towels are recommended is because towels don't crush. You can stack towels, and even with weight, that's as far down as they go. When you have pillows, most people, they have a couple of pillows, and then over time, their head sinks a bit, and then they have to scrunch the pillow up, stick their arm in. So they're doing things to try to counteract
During the night, it's like
what the
it's
pillow
like a
is
wrestling
doing.
activity.
The fact that there's no support.
describing my night.
All right, so
Getting into it, aren't you?
what you want to do for back sleeping is you want to take a towel, approximately this size. It can be a bit,
Bath
it
towel.
can be a little smaller, bath towel,
All
right?
Yep.
And you want to fold it in a certain way so you have 5 layers of towel under the neck and 3 layers under the head. If you have the same amount for the head and neck, you're typically going to be in flexion. There's a picture out in the waiting room area of a woman lying on her back with with a normal pillow, and then lying on her back with this folded the way it should be. And you see a drastic difference in the stress that's being put on her body. So what you do is you take the towel, you open it up. Should I do it on here? Is it easier to see?
Yeah.
On the floor? All right. Not as wide, but all right. So, get the towel straight, and you want to fold it into a third. Okay? Just fold it over into a third, and then you pick that up just the way it is, and fold it back into a third the other way. Okay? And then lay it down here. So it's kind of like an S.
Mhm.
You take this top layer and you pull it back a few inches, and then you just flip. Let me pull back a little bit more. And then you flip this over that. Okay?
That's for the neck.
So this is, right, so what you're doing, when you lie down, your head's going to be here, and your neck is going to be here, and your legs are going to be that way. Who's a back sleeper here? Come on up, Chris. Okay, go ahead and lay back.
I snore when I sleep on my back.
Okay. That's good right there. All right, now, slide up to me a bit, so your feet are on the... Okay. All right. Now, if you count this, what's under the neck, this is 5 layers of towel, if you count this right here. If you count this, this is only 3 layers. All right, so you want more under the neck than the head. If you have the same amount under the neck and head, the neck is typically going to be flexion. It's going to be, if there's more under here, the neck is going to be like this.
How far down should the,
Just the width of the neck,
okay, not on the shoulders?
not on the shoulders. I mean, you might get a tad on it, but
Uh-huh.
mainly,
Right.
so you see, if this was 2 layers higher, then her head would be more like this. Right, so go ahead and take your glasses off. You ladies are going to want to come over here,
Okay.
because we're going to be observing something, and we're going to be looking for something.
Okay.
Okay, so, go ahead and sit up for a second, Anna. So, this is the only pillow that is recommended. It's made for docs that do structural correction, although anybody obviously can get one. It's made of it's not memory foam, it's just enough cushion to it, but you know, when you really got to add a lot of weight for it to give it all.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not like the regular pillows out there.
So that's the kind of pillow you should be using?
If you're a side sleeper,
That
if
high
you're a
up?
side sleeper.
Yeah.
Well, it's,
Wait till you see.
Mine's
Hold
even
on.
higher.
The
so,
correction.
the way that this works is that you have different thicknesses,
Yeah.
different layers, and it's gonna be built based on how your body is, okay, because everybody's body is different. So the way you work with this pillow is typically we'll start at a fairly low point, okay, and go ahead and lie on your side.
That's too late there, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Very good.
crunched forward.
Okay, now, one of the things I want you to notice as we're doing this is notice Edna's eyes, right? And the instructions for you are not to open your eyes or close them, just to let your body go, okay? So, right now, this is fairly low, and this is going to be a lot higher than most people think. What you're trying to do is you're trying to fill the space between the side of the head
Doesn't look
and
like
the
a
shoulder.
finger.
That's a big space,
Yeah.
right? Okay? So, you notice how easily I can roll Edna forward,
Uh-huh.
okay, when she's on her side. I just barely have to pull.
Yep.
That's one way to tell if this is too low. If what you're doing is too low, it doesn't take much for me to roll that person forward,
Right.
okay? Now, on the other hand, if I try to do this, I have to use just a bit more effort to get her back. Compared to this, I'm barely using any effort, right? Did you notice the difference? So if you can roll forward too easily, it's too low. So what you want to do with a pillow like this is you want to raise it up
Build it up.
incrementally, the smallest amount,
Okay.
and then go from there. So let's do that. So we're going to put this here.
And where should your arm be, like right
Do you
up
put
here
a
or to the
pillowcase
bottom?
on this?
Yeah, they come in pillowcases.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which arm? This arm?
Yeah, we'd hope so.
Yeah.
He's sweating, girl, if you didn't put a pillow.
Yeah, that's fine. right
Well, and
there.
all the pieces would fall
Right,
apart, that's
so-
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Added a very small amount of thickness, all right?
Uh-huh.
And let your body relax. Okay. Now, when I said let your body relax, you notice her eyes closed for a second, but then they open, and now she's blinking.
Too
Okay?
low.
So here's the thing. When you have this at the right height, when your head is the right height for your body just goes into a situation where it relaxes so much that everything just starts to go. and your eyes will actually shut all by themselves, without you trying, without doing anything like that. So that's too low. All right, so come on up. And stay right there. So now, we'll take this one off, and we'll put that one on. So I just went up a very small amount. Go ahead and lay on your side. Okay? And, you know, I know this is still going to be too low, but I want to show you what it's like going the way up. Make sure you're on your side, exactly. Okay? Let your body relax. Okay, and again, notice how wide her eyes are open. Right, head up.
Amazing, just a minute bit can do
Right
it.
now. Let your body relax.
Better.
Better, but still,
No, it's not right yet.
no, not there yet. I wouldn't expect to be there yet.
No.
All right, so now I'm going to take both of these off and put this one on, because that then will just make it a little bit thicker.
I think that'll do it.
All right. Okay, let your body relax.
That looks good.
Well,
Not bad. I mean, she
No.
could get away with it, right? It's still low?
Yep,
Well, that's how I look. I roll
Absolutely.
forward.
yeah.
All right, now we're getting really serious here.
all right, now again, I'll put this thinner one on.
Oh my gosh.
And because I want you to see how a subtle difference can make all the difference in the world. Let your body, what was that?
I said, there we are.
Okay. She thinks we're there, but we're not there.
Oh,
Let your body
God.
relax. Just let it go. Okay, now, I'm having more of a difficult time getting her forward, right? Did you feel more pressure? Okay. It's better, but let's see if we can get even better. I know we can, just by looking at her eyes. Because her eyes should be closing without as much effort. I mean, with no effort. Okay?
And
Have
you
at
just
it.
take one off and put one on, or they were different techniques? Am I losing? I thought you just took one off and put one on.
I took one off and put a thicker one on.
Oh,
Let your body relax. Okay? You notice that it's not it's not perfect, but you notice
Right.
that she's having a harder time with her eyes staying.
Yeah.
Okay, come on up. Okay, so we'll put this thinner one back
You
on top.
gotta try it, I'm telling you.
Go ahead and lay down.
I think that's the key, besides sleeping keys, the pillow.
On your side. Let your body relax.
There it is.
That looks good.
No.
No?
She's still blinking. She's
She's still blinking?
There's a room full of people.
It doesn't, I guarantee it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Let your body relax.
Can she feel the difference?
Yes, I can.
And does it feel better the higher up you go?
It does for me. It takes the pressure off of here.
Yeah,
Takes the pressure
Okay,
off your
Let
shoulder.
your body go.
yeah.
All right, let's go up again. All right, so we got those two and that. So now
And
we're
it'll
gonna-
matter what surface you're on too for this.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, I'll
Oh,
explain
yeah.
that in a sec. All right, so go ahead and line your side. Let your body relax, just let it go. All right, now, you notice her eyes now?
She looks
They-
drowsy.
Yeah, I feel drowsy.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry.
Like she can't keep them open. Now, again, don't try to close them, don't try to open them, just let them do whatever they want. All right, now, we get,
They wanna close my nose.
no, let them
No,
do whatever
you're
they do.
good.
It's important that you do that because I'm trying to show them something. Even though our eyes are closing, there's still movement. You
Still a
see
bit
the
of
eyes
movement,
still
yeah.
moving with
Yeah.
the lid shut.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not there yet. All right, right up.
She's gonna need all of
I'd
those
say-
layers, I
No,
have a
I don't
feeling.
think so.
Huh?
All right, down here.
Use a lot of them.
That's subtle.
Go ahead and line your back. Yeah, it is. You know, the Princess and the Pea, what was that story?
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
God, yes.
Let your body relax.
Stephanie just read that to the kids. Oh, she looks good there, I have to say it. That's hers, I think.
Nope.
no, one more.
Own it, girl, own it.
I'm just gonna say that. Just leave this. One thicker, a little thicker. I think I might
Well,
like.
if you
I
buy
might
something,
like looking at
That's
my-
fine.
Or you buy something like that.
Hang on. Let your body
Oh,
relax.
mine.
I still.
Oh.
I gotta get one.
I have
How
mine.
do you know what's the right, like?
No,
You have
right
one.
for you. Hello.
You gotta, I would bring it in and have them check
I don't
it.
know.
Bring the whole pillow in.
All right, that's better. Let's see if we can get even better.
That's very comfortable.
I gotta find
I
somebody.
know it's not.
I gotta find a sucker to sell all my pillows to. in
No,
the
you should say that's very nothing. Right on your side. Let your body relax. All right, now did you notice the breath she just took?
Yeah, look at her eyes.
Okay, did she take that breath prior to me putting a layer down?
No.
Any other layer? No.
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 That layer, that
Body
layer she went-
knows.
She sighed, yeah.
Yeah.
Relax her body.
Yep.
Okay, now let's see if this is it, and going up will actually make it worse.
Oh, that's
Because it will.
interesting, yeah, yeah.
If it's the wrong. Okay, so right now that was like pretty darn good, huh? Edna?
Mhm.
All right, so if we get rid of these two and put this on, so that would be a little bit different. Okay, have at it. Let your body relax. What do you notice about the eyes?
Blinking
No.
again.
Blinking more.
Yep,
All right. So
it's too high now.
this probably
Really weird,
isn't
isn't it?
terrible, but it's not as good as the one it was a second ago, right?
Right.
All right, you notice how more awake she is now?
Mhm.
All right, so let's go back to the other one. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to put these two back on, because that's what the setup was.
So too high is bad and too low is bad.
Correct.
Mhm.
Look at her, she's like,
I need a custom color.
look at her eyes now.
Take it,
Let your body
take it.
relax. Look at the difference now with the eyes.
She's happy.
Okay?
Yeah.
That is how precise this is.
Wow.
The body is
It's
very
amazing.
precise.
Oh my God.
Just that much more in either direction
No wonder I'm tossing.
wasn't as good as we are right here, right? I've had people literally fall asleep as I'm doing this at like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Like they came in, they weren't tired,
That'd be cool.
but right, if I shut the light now,
Oh, yeah, we go.
oh yeah, it's just no matter whether you're tired or not,
Yeah.
whether you're tired or not. So
Let's see if it works.
Yeah, turn that light down. a
Now
little.
again,
Dim it a
this
little.
is going to be relative to the surface. Now, if she takes this same stack right here, and her bed is not as firm as this, let's say, and she puts that stack on her bed, this is not going to be correct anymore, because what happens? Let's say the head is right here and everything's perfect for the body. Her bed is softer, her body now is going to dip down,
Right.
so it's going to, relative, her head's going to now be higher than it should be.
Uh-huh,
Okay, so does everybody get that?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I always recommend to people, you do
Hard.
this on the floor, get to the level where you
Oh,
should
that's how you
be,
do it, on the
then
floor.
bring it back to your bed,
Okay.
and you're going to fluctuate a bit in either direction. If you can't get it to the point that you got it on the floor,
Oh, boy.
then your bed is an issue.